Welcome back. The VCT has had a couple of roller coaster games in the last couple of months, and I think this might be it. I think this might be the perennial game for both XSET and NRG. NRG, a mere zero point 0.2 seconds from being knocked out right into a 1-0 deficit, but instead they pull it back, and now we're looking at NRG on top 1-0. That last map was insane.
Yeah, last map. XSET had the lead of 12-6. 6 opportunities to close it out, but they just couldn't. And don't even get me on the OT part. That would have technically totaled it to 7 opportunities. Both of these teams clashed hard, man. The first half felt like it was a very even battle between the two of them. Then in the second half, XSET started to pull away, and NRG out of nowhere. It should have never got to even, I think, 12-11 or even 12-10. XSET should have been able to shut it down, but who knows what happened, man.
XSET were scot-free. They were up 3 rounds, if I'm not mistaken, maybe even 4 by the end of things. And, well, they ended up just completely just taking that down. So, NRG, man, NRG. It was kind of that flare that we saw in that first half. Almost that no dramatics, just super, super clean play that we were anticipating. And like I said, literally 0.2 seconds separated NRG and XSET from taking it further into that game. And wow, look at this. 19k damage. I mean, that's sort of expected when you go 15 rounds. But XSET, look at the difference. Yeah. Almost 3,000 points of damage separating NRG and XSET. That, I don't know how to explain that. There were only 2 rounds between each other.
That's like, what I'm thinking. I don't, like, how did it come down to that? Well, you can kind of see in the wins, it was 6 objective wins, which obviously takes out a lot of damage because you're winning with the objective. A lot of save rounds came out from NRG. 12 frag wins for the side of NRG. So the majority of their wins came from just taking out all 5. So I guess that's where maybe the difference in damage comes from. But let's not look at that. Let's look at how close the game actually was. XSET had great style and great momentum, I think, on their first half. And you can see it here as well. Pierre was just playing very good entries. But we mentioned Daps, I think, a little bit earlier in the game and how great he was. Well, look at it. It's exemplified. 31 kills and a 2.3 KDA.
Yeah, he was the savior of the game by the very end of things, and he is very clear of almost everyone on his team. 1.3 KDA, up to 2.3. Daps on a league of his own. Still Pure on the other side ended up having a 252 combat score, but a 331. Again, just a leg up on absolutely everyone, and he's the KJ. He's supposed to be the anchor. I think most of that damage ended up coming down to like that second half where really that A site was completely covered up by Daps, I think. But even then, we still have to talk about map number 2 as you know, as fun as map number 1 was.
Yeah, going into map number 2, obviously we mentioned that this map pool was definitely catered, I think, towards both sides. We go into Bind here, where in the past it's been always super strong for XSET. Currently a 10-4 record. They run the Viper here for we did, but we expected the Viper on Ascent as well. So don't be surprised if we don't see the Viper here. So who knows, again, what XSET have been labbing out, what they've been doing in the workshop. You said earlier as well that every map they've played against NRG always goes the distance. So whatever they've been working up in the lad, XSET clearly were not prepared for NRG.
No, not really. I think both teams. No, I can't say that. I think XSET was kind of ready for NRG as a team, NRG as a squad, because again, they've played off against this team before, and there isn't really too much of a discrepancy on what is their play style from before. Yes, they have changed up some of their agents, but in terms of a set play, it does look like it came down to the individual players just doing their thing and both teams just kind of wailing out on each other. But Bind is a whole different story. Bind is not exactly a map that we see all too much here in the VCT. Yeah, not anymore. We used to see it literally all the time, but Bind has not exactly been favorable for many teams as pools, but we actually have it picked out.
Yeah, for NRG, it's a current 9-5 map record. So we go to this second map where XSET, they have a huge advantage, but we expected kind of the same thing, I think, going into Ascent, right? We saw how well they performed against 100 Thieves and against, I guess, a lesser opponent like NRG compared to 100 Thieves. You expect XSET to have a lot of momentum, but again, it comes down to, I think, the tiny agent compositions changes and what I expected XSET to bring and what they decided to bring instead. So with this second map, if the Viper is brought out, I give a little more confidence because we know how good Weeded can be with it, but that's to be unexpected now. We don't know if we're going to see the Viper anymore.
Yeah, that's kind of the funny thing, because last map should have been the Viper map, and I feel like that really could have helped them on that defensive side, which is just kind of really weird to think about. Still, XSET, you know, in terms of bind, we still do have a fairly easier pool of agents. You know, it's kind of that dry comp that I mentioned a lot with Sentinels. But of course, you know, we kind of have to put it onto paper. Ladies and gentlemen, Agent Select going up live. NRG versus XSET has been hot already, and we're not even through our second map. Let's see the Agent Select.
Yeah, it feels like we've played already 2 maps, but yeah, looking at XSET, no Viper. Instead, we did picking up the Sky, Pure going back to the Rays. They're running a single duelist, and it's a little bit more common nowadays to see that double initiator on a map like Bind, where there's so many avenues to use the Sky, to use the Sova utility, get a lot of information. So again, another major shift in the XSET agent composition, whereas instead for NRG, the only really major change is just the KJ.
Yeah, just the KJ. Nothing too crazy. I mean, you still have that Astra along the side. NRG not changing essentially anything. Still, you have XSET, same thing. You have Weeded actually going back on the Sky, and Weeded is just proving himself as like the perennial multifaceted talent. I mean, he is like the Swiss Army knife of players, of professionals. He can play Sky, he can play a Viper, he can play Jet if you want. He can be all over the place on the map. And him pulling out the Sky here on Bind, it's quite interesting, because Bind is actually a very good map for Sky, but it comes down to Weedid's abilities on that character alone.
Yeah, he's kind of like taking the title away from Sick, who nowadays is playing a lot more Phoenix, not as flexible with his Sky nowadays. But yeah, XSET, this tiny agent composition change, what's to be expected? Because my expectations, again, for this tiny change, this tiny composition change for both sides as well, with the KJ, Android no longer playing, obviously the Phoenix, and Tex no longer playing his signature Rays, where we saw them take it against Immortals and LG. So who knows what's to happen here. XSET, though, will be starting here on the attack, as NRG, with a 1-0 lead, are looking to maybe bounce XSET to the lower bracket in 2-0 fashion.
What a lower bracket that would be. It's already starting to heat up more and more. Oh my god! Oh my god! What just happened there? Of course, that guiding light ended up going over towards the mid side, but man, just the fact that they just end up walking right into 4 players, trying to rotate back to B, ends up giving them a massive gift. As they take down 2 players. So Aaron, how does Aaron even get on the flank too? So many flanks going in, and they're combining. Aaron's now the last person remaining in a 1v2. That nade, not hitting him. And Daps just ran right through the B sites, and he comes back over on A. It's almost like these spawns have flipped. It's not like XSET is playing an attacking side. They're on the defensive side, it seems. The spike hasn't even gone down yet. Aaron just holding down in the corner. The turret, okay, does aim down on 1. I wonder if they actually do have the direction, though, on where Aaron is. I think the turret, just off of a late plant, is getting them. They still have that crossfire up, and there you go. Yeah, Aaron is completely done, it seems. The satchel going in. Daps around the corner. He has almost full HP. 31 on Android, and that's it. NRG, they dodged what was just a massive flank from XSET, but that one just works.
Yeah, a very quick push in towards Market, and then a quick backtrack to take the 2 players out of showers. It was Aaron who had a very clear head to just say, okay, I'm gonna wait. My teammates, if they can win their fights, I'll be there to support, but if not, I can maybe try and salvage like a 1v3 out of it. But with the low HP that he had and the quick reactions from NRG, didn't seem like it was bound to happen. So XSET will kick things off in 0-1 deficit on the series score and on this map scores. NRG will dig deep into their pockets for Spectres. Tex, the only one with the frenzies. He's looking to maybe get an off later down the line.
And that's the anticipation for a lot of these players. Vine being a little bit more of an extensive map in terms of firepower, so we could see those, could see that off. But this one just goes very quick. We see the SMGs are trying to fight up towards the hookah area, and, well, nobody from NRG goes absolutely nuts in terms of frags. It's just a huge farm in the mid side. And just like that, that's XSET dropping yet another round. The pistols are still around.
Saw him using that grapple to cause a delay and allow himself to swing with players vulnerable. Bought time for that jump into TP, the support from Android. So NRG, with XSET forcing kind of heavily into that round, it's going to put them now with, again, just pistols. NRG, this is their bonus. An opportunity to kind of create 2 bonuses in a row if you can keep most of your players alive. You go into the next round where XSET have the rifles, pull it on the guns you've got, and you can build that economy crazily high.
Oh, you sure can. think XSET, however, just dipping too much cash into the last round just kind of leaves them in that awkward position. They could be able to take back the rifles here, and NRG kind of realizes that, all holding on to their SMGs, because again, it is a bonus. But XSET's kind of doing the classic bind move of just going for a wide default.
Guiding lights being tossed out. I don't know what the exact plan is here. Obviously, you want to maybe get a pick to try and set yourself up, but you've just been exposed. You had to make a move, and you walk right into the crosshairs of 2. NRG now. Looking for their 3rd round, nice and clean. Easy does it. 3 players left, 45 seconds. A spike, still not made a full commitment, but now it's leaning towards B, where a crossfire with Tex and both Som await. They're going to work their way back long. There's a chance maybe they could get a kill, get a spike down, but again, you have to worry about that hookah control, which is, I think, the biggest issue at the moment.
30 seconds left.
Ooh. Yeah, that recon bolt going right back in, and it ends up getting a whole lot of information. EU, well timed to say the very least, and it's going to help out their team on just maintaining this round incredibly clean. All the SMGs stay in their hands. A singular player goes down. The ultis are starting to build. XSET, they don't get anything back in their favor. So we do finally have the rifles back in their favor, Sully.
Yeah, but look at the economy of NRG, man. They're basically going to be able to build 9K up
They're
after
thriving.
this round if they can win it. Bonus. It's a double bonus, and those are the risks that you take if you're XSET, if you want to try and force into that 2nd round. And yeah, attack pause, I think, is very much needed because you know the economic situation that NRG are going to be in. This is a must-win round, I think, because if NRG win this one, they build their credits up to 9K. They start to get ults online. They have a 4-0 lead, and it is just so easy to pull away with momentum, with credits. You put, again, XSET in that terminal position of just having to buy back over and over and having to reset themselves and take eco rounds. It's definitely not a favorable position. So NRG, with their credits, XSET with their tack, need to figure something out to break through.
And yes, of course, we do have that tactical pause. And it's very much necessary for XSET because, again, this round, them losing this out, or really just coming out of this with only like 2, maybe 1 player remaining, just puts them in such a pit. So they have to make this not only as clean as possible, but they also just have to secure a win. So the tactical pause just being used up, see what they have in the crevices of their strat book, get Psycho in the call, make something happen. Here comes XSET. Multiple stars being placed up on the A site. There's just 5 sitting around kind of those choke points. And you still have Android on the front side. It's only Android.
Oh, but look at this swing with that deep smoke. They can take this TP, and wow,
Whoa.
that is a huge gamble. And Tex looking for an early fight. It's just a crunch in the showers, and man, they are bathing. NRG quickly sweeping things up. Yeah, the spike is going to go down, but now you've got to face 4 more players.
Yeah, no, the showers, the water got a little bit too cold, and everyone just got iced out. Wonderfully done from NRG. I mean, I just can't believe it. Them just going almost dry over towards that long area. Then they make their way into teleporter. Now it's just Dwifo and BCJ. Let's see what they can pull off, though. Both sitting up in U-Haul. And an alarm bot up, too. Oh, Dwifo, BCJ, both in such a tough position. Those shock darts going out very early. Som just holding on to the brunt of the damage. The recon bolt goes in. The spike will be able to get defused, I think. Yes, it will. Although it's out in the open. Lots of kills going back and forth. BCJ and Dwifo collecting up to 3. And BCJ gonna stay alive with that rifle. But XSET's economy is down in the dumps. NRG icing out XSET.
There's that situation that we talked about. Now that NRG have won kind of their 2nd bonus in a row, they can get the rifles back. Look at the credits they've got. 9K for Tex, 5K for Android, 4.5 for Daps. I mean, you have the 4-0 lead. It is, again, so easy to just pull away after you've had these first 4 rounds. And XSET, economy abysmal. 0 credits for Dwifo. He's got no util to work with as well. NRG looking to break the back here of XSET here in the first half is approach towards long. Stars at the ready. Owl drone to clear. The rotations are imminent. You can see the TP is an open spot here for the rest of NRG on the other side.
It sure is. Really, really is. Because it starts to get tough if XSET even want to bail out of this. Because look at A. We just have a sea of black over towards short. Look
know,
at
right?
how much util is here. You have, I think, 2 stars, 1 alarm bot, 2 nano swarms, and a turret, all here on this A side alone. If XSET wants to approach A, they're walking into the jaws of the beast. On B, however, it's where all the manpower stays.
Oh no. Pull back, never mind. Leaning back
Whoa,
here is
okay.
gonna be NRG.
Look at this.
Here to try and open that.
No
Oh,
way.
the showstopper, it goes the other way. Can they get the trade? Yes, they can.
Yeah, but there's still 2 in hookah, and they have no clue that there's 2 in hookah. Som able to get 2 out of this. BCJ with a flank up in mid. And again, they have no information that there's 2 in hookah. Now they finally do. Tex finally goes down, and Aaron holding it down. Aaron with a 3K. Jumps right into hookah. 8 HP remaining. And XSET, I mean, slow and steady wins the race. They take their time over on the B site. And although hookah was heavily populated, NRG just had no hold whatsoever on the B site.
Yeah, I mean, those are kind of the parallels of having hookah control and having really no one towards sites. And once you lose that site control, all it's going to take is just players to focus you up. They can dump utility in, they can just take early fights, and that was the only access point that NRG had into that retake. So XSET fully focused on it, able to shut down those 3 players, or apologies, Aaron was able to shut down those 3 players. They will pick up their first round. NRG's momentum has been swept beneath them, but again, those credits they had built up was always going to be enough. Now, Apps is looking to evade here. BCJ not going to net a kill. That's a first in a while, but here we go, straight into the A site with a Cosmic Divide.
Cosmic Divide, Recon Bolt to try to clear out the back of sight. You still have Android in a pretty good spot. He could just get flanked out by multiple players, and indeed he does. We did end up getting the kill. Cosmic Divide still up. EU with a Hunter's Fury, nailing through, getting a whole lot of pings. Still Daps playing around, and the Seekers chasing him down, so they know that Daps is just around this green box. The turret finds one. We did. Off the off angle. Daps only has 35 HP. How does he win that against BCJ? Finally, the lockdown isolates most of the NRG players. But look at this position from Tex. Oh, Tex! Massive frag. Spike is now down. 40 seconds left. Aaron somehow needs to clutch this up. He puts down smoke. Puts down a nebula right in the middle. Spike is technically in his control, but he's actually trying to fight Tex as we go through. No shot! Wow! He actually does go for it, and he does win. Spike now in his control. 20 seconds left. EU not making any noise whatsoever. If Aaron wants to turn back, he could just get flanked on, and EU sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Right around the corner takes him down. NRG in such a tough position. I mean, XSET just take it back, and they lose it. It's tough, man. They had it, and then they lost it, and then they had it, and then they lost it.
Yeah, all those ultimates committed as well for XSET. You thought they had that in their back pocket with the Seekers, the Lockdown, the Cosmic Divide, the Hunter's Fury, literally everything being used there for XSET, and unfortunately NRG were just able to somehow sweep things back. A little bit of a couple of bursts, I think, through that Cosmic Divide, just caught the rest of XSET unaware, and down 5-1. It's disastrous to say the very least. You are XSET. Another buy still in the cards, another buy in the works. Tex losing that operator has nothing to bank on except for his own rifle. NRG have slowed down the push. Some utility has caused a little bit of an issue for XSET. They want to slow down the tempo, maybe try and cut noise, fake out their opponents, draw NRG back to that A site, which it looks like it has. Som pulling back over towards A. Granted, he can just drop stars on the other side of the map and activate support.
Right. Yeah, no, it's just tough in terms of that whole type of setup. And then XSET, in terms of actually making their way on, they have very restricted util to do so. We did still has a guiding light to potentially get a little bit of that information, but again, it's gonna have to come down to all of this utility if Daps can stay alive. But there you go, that's the linchpin gone, essentially, in terms of that hold. Now it's just EU, meaning now in a 1-on-4, holding it back, gets the kill. Up front and center, run onto Aaron, but BCJ takes it back. That's the B side, all theirs. But no, it's not all theirs. There's 2 players just walking out, and there you go. They combine Som and Android. Some huge frags to just plug out this B site. A very fast rotation, to say the very least. Now it's just down to Thwifo. And 1v2 places down the turret. Nobody taking it down just yet, and nobody peeking, period. Thwifo thinks that he's safe, but look at the crossfire. Som sitting over towards long, takes him down. 6 now for NRG. NRG are starting to heat up.
Oh, great delay from EU. Soloing that site and at least picking up one, or at least trying to draw the players away from the main point, which was elbow, where they were looking for control. Allows rotations to come in. TP from Tex as well draws attention away. XSET looking at a 7-1 here, possibly, with just Sheriffs, just a Spectre to work with. And if you are XSET, what changes can you make? NRG are just... It's a lot of individual skill, it feels like. Tex coming up huge at times. What do you really do here now if you're XSET? Obviously not much here with the pistols, but when you get that buy back, some change needs to be made. I think the only one that can really happen is you just got to try and full send into a side and burst up, but there's just so much util everywhere from NRG to cover the extremities.
XSET kind of going away from their default mentality a little bit early on in the game too. They're just committing to this A site, and the satchel landing right in front of Daps, and Daps just continues to click away. Android now coupled up with Psalm. He starts to at least sweep this up, but okay, Thwifo could just get an easy land here, I would like to think. But Tex, I thought Tex was more than on his way for a rotation, but he's actually around the middle there, and now he's just playing cat and mouse there. Oh no! Tex cuts him off. It's so smart from Tex to even get there. Sense that he could be doubled back on, but yeah, 7-1 going back towards the side of NRG. This next round should be a little bit more entertaining, as yes, XSET will have the rifles.
Look at this, so clean. Dabs, calm, collected, and Waifu, you hope there's an opportunity. He's running marathons around them, but yeah, NRG with those guns, it's XSET who will get them back. It's that war of attrition, that vicious cycle of having to buy, losing the round, getting reset, having to eco, and then going back and again, back and forth. It's vicious. XSET are experiencing it in full capacity. Crossfire here held again. A bait and switch. EU taking all the heat, breaking the owl drone so that his teammate can't get spotted. And yeah, Sam is just going to go unchecked, free for one, and a TP to bail.
It's a free one, EU. Okay, there you go. Yet another off angle. It's the battle of off angles, essentially, for a lot of these players on NRG. Still the last two remaining for XSET, Sweded and BCJ. Currently taking up real estate here on the B site. The Cabbages, the Seekers, they go out. Not able to get all too much. Two of the Seekers go back into hookah, so there's just an inkling that these players are there, and indeed there are two there. And one in CT. So they do have that information. They are just chilling, waiting out for that execution, but that showstopper clearing outside, just blasted into long. Right in the middle of the dark. Android strikes down onto We Did. Now BCJ watching out for that ping. Has to take down 3 players here. And the clip is just simply not enough. The fuse goes in. Yet another shutdown of XSET. NRG pulls it off.
There you go, man. NRG still keeping it so clean, even when XSET find a way to get rifles. That was the round where X said, you need to find a way to make a change. Now, I think this scoreline is just so far-fetched for XSET to pull back. It's guaranteed, I think, at least a 9-3 scoreline. I say that, but you never know. XSET might just pull it out of the back pocket with 3 rounds in a row. The way NRG have been playing, individually, they have just been insane. There's no like pinpoint crazy rotations. They are just individually popping off. And XSET, how do you battle against a team like that? NRG, their win condition for a lot of people was everyone needs to pop off. Everyone needs to be in that 30 bomb frag mode, which we've seen time and time again before. And they're fully in it.
Oh my, NRG. Setting up 4 here on side already. And XSET almost just get completely denied over towards Bathroom, and the spike carrier in terms of BCJ goes down from the elevated area where Psalm is sitting. Yeah, oh, this shock dart actually takes down We Did. That was full contact. Goes down. 2 players still for XSET on the other side of the map, and look at the amount of util on B still.
Yeah, I mean, good heavens. Daps can just throw the lockdown whenever he pleases. He's got that elbow control. He's got sight control in the form of that swarm and alarm bot. It's going to take time to clear. It's going to take time for them to get the spike down. And yeah, delay. Lockdown in effect. What do you do here if you're XSET?
Okay, gravity. Well, but Daps wins it. Lockdown B lockdown. They're not even get the spike. They're not even going to get the spike done to really make that lockdown B lockdown worth it. And what? What just happened? Did they confuse their own lockdown? They just confused their own lockdown for their opponent's lockdown. The Venn diagram. All too confusing. Man.
I think there were two reasons why they got locked down. Is obviously the first one, like you said, the Venn diagram just confuses the heck out of you. Or look at how risky this cross is. It's two things gonna happen. Is either they just decided not to cross, and they were like, we have to gamble this. We gotta hope that it's our lockdown and that kind of thing. But who knows? Cool. At that point, NRG just they could have knifed them, man. They could have just BM'd him if they wanted to. But man. Great play from Daps. He's been the pinnacle so far of his NRG lineup, dropping 30 in that first map, and he comes up big there in that round.
Well, now we have to regroup. XSETs making their way through, at least over towards that A side. This time the KJ has pivoted once again. I love this versatility. I love just this inch decision making and pure. Oh my God! The combo that we've been waiting for. Gravity well coupled up with a nano swarm, and he takes down 2. NRG, they got it all covered. They can frag you down and they can beat you without even looking at you. Android now just around the okay, that's awkward. Both Thwifo and Android throw out util at each other at the exact same time. They could have just shot at each other. We did. Still on the very edge of the cosmic divide. Spike could be able to go down, but they're just trying to expend all options possible before they end up doing so. And finally, it's there. XSET with a big chance.
That chance is starting to slip as the info's revealed. He's able to transition from 1, but they know where he is. Can't gun down the second.
Thwifo still on U-Haul. Aaron needs this kill, but both players. Okay, no, never mind. Thwifo's still alive. Thwifo's still alive. Trying to take down Android. Saw him just going for the defuse. Takes on a headshot, but that is it. Double digits for NRG before the half even ends.
This is outrageous from NRG. Again, that cool, calm collectivity when they're going into these retakes, right? They're not rushing anything. I feel like not once have we seen just run and gun into the retake, and that's such a huge difference from what we normally see from NRG. The great combos as well in this second map. My goodness, NRG are bringing it out in full force, 10-1, last round of the half, and if they get to 11 here, all it's going to take is 2 rounds. Now, they made the comeback on Ascent, but it was 6-12 then. Coming back 12-1, possibly 11-1. It's just, I hate to say it, I just do not think it's possible.
Okay. Well, you thinking that it's not possible. I think statistics are with you there. That it's improbable. You know,
okay. That's fair. That's fair.
You know, I'm not gonna say impossible. I'm gonna say more improbable. But yeah, we still have another round on our hands. Tex trying to go big here, covered up with one of the Seekers. BCG trying to go big with a judge, and Tex, who stayed alive in the corner, finally pops out with an updraft alongside his knives, and just like that, XSET, the plethora of frags going back with a judge. Well, they're making it work. Now look at this crossfire. It's very similar to what NRG played against one of the XSET players just a little bit ago. One over towards Tin Can, and it's that same setup. Daps puts down a turret. And look at this peek. And there you go. Aaron could have taken him down. Thwifo could have taken him down. 12-10. Oh, what am I saying? 2-10. Sorry, I can't speak.
You know,
but we are finally into the second half.
I'm gonna say that I was intentionally trying to jinx this game, and that's because I just want to see more Valorant, man. Who knows? I intentionally was saying that the comeback is impossible. I said if it's 11-1, there's no way they make the comeback. Well, hey, it's 10-2. The comeback is now on, so who knows? XSET, all jokes aside, 8 rounds to go to at least tie things up, and then 10 to bring us to at least a possible map 3. Granted, they need 11 here to bring us to a map 3. It's outlandish. It's improbable, like you were saying, but it's not impossible.
Right, the last map was dramatic, but it was dramatic because we were at a 6-6 half.
Exactly.
This is just totally different. XSET, oh my god. I was about to say, XSET need an explosive start to this half to really make things worth it. And look at this. Every single body for XSET, except for one, stacked up and short. And it's Weeded. You only need Weeded, really. Fragging out, catching 2. Saw him around the corner, looking to farm. Gonna be able to get 1, but no more than 1. Last 2 players remaining now, Daps and Tex. Stomping up into short from the mid side. Your teammate Thwifo hasn't spotted anything long either, hasn't heard anything. The Owl Drone gonna be able to catch one. Thwifo TP's in, and they can't get the spike. It's a no man's land.
Hold on. No one's looking Dabs
on.
his way. No one is looking Dabs his way. No, he needs to clear this corner.
Whoa,
Dabs,
whoa, no,
there they go. No, Dabs.
No way.
Checks one corner and he has a chance, but nothing. Nothing at all. It will be a 30 for XSET. Tex is messing around. If he's able to get a kill, you know, it's at least a charge to the ult, but no way, Jose, he's going to pull that off. 10-3, XSET. Similar fashion to NRG in the first pistol round on their defensive side. They got aggressive towards short.
Yeah, which isn't something that we saw too much from NRG either, right? We didn't see NRG getting all too extensive over towards their own spots. It's really just been XSET dictating the pace, which isn't exactly optimal as an attacking sided team. But them pushing it out as the defensive side, not too bad, not too bad. But that's just the pistol. They still have a whole lot more steps if they even want to think about pushing this one further, Sully. So the SMGs are around. This one should just be a little bit of a cleanup.
I thought the recon bolt got blocked is what I thought. I thought
Placing swarm grenade.
it like bounced into it and
Hawk
just
blocked.
bounced off.
Oh my god.
NRG,
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought so too. Man.
Regardless, the recon bolt gets a bit of info. EU skating on by.
Yo, that's a
18 HP.
clean dart.
He's
Okay.
still alive, but only barely. Now, XSET with these three players, we talked about hookah control before. Well, XSET have got full control, so even if they make their way onto the site, they've got to worry about the other extremity, and well, no, they're just booking it straight over to A, where Daps has made very little progress.
Yeah, not a lot at all. Just that turret down right in front of him. If anything, he's just been waiting around short for anyone to approach him instead. Now look at Pure, expending a whole lot of those bullets just on the interaction short, and that ends up leaving him a little bit short in terms of trying to fight out Bathroom. But instead now, nobody from NRG really able to make their way through. It's just Som, and EU stuck in Bathroom, and look at Aaron. Aaron just looking to stat pad a little bit. Nobody knows that is here. Gonna be able to get one till Summer on the corner, and first we had the Hawk block, and now we have the Astra also holding that up. Okay, all right. All right. I see you. 4-10. 4-10. Rifles do come back in the hands of NRG. And we haven't seen too much from NRG's attacking side to really mark any sort of criticism or analysis just yet. We just have to see how this one ends up going out. And it does seem like they're going to go for the Old Faithful default potentially.
Yeah, look at those stars lined up as well out towards B long. So it's a heavy fight here from XSET to get this B long control, and I wouldn't even be surprised if they get this control to make an early TP. Yeah, 3. I think all 3 stars actually belong to Aaron, so he's looking for full control here. Now that they've got it, essentially, you force NRG now to focus back towards Hookah, where you've got utility. You force them back towards the A site, where now you've got a 3-man stack. Just one part of the map in control of NRG, or apologies, XSET has just pulled everyone away from that area, and it's forcing them into their hand. But now with smokes fading and nobody on XSET kind of capitalizing on that control, NRG are going to slowly retake the area.
Yeah, potentially so, but they're still trying to think about it. I mean, like you said, XSET not exactly aggressing all too hard over towards B, but still NRG haven't even decided where they want to go. You have Tex getting a lot of great information.
He's all the way out. Nebula goes out. Apologies, he actually dissipates that. They win the fight here towards mid. They know the hit's coming. But look at this. Tex already on the site. His goal is to just get in defender spawn.
30 seconds.
Try and cut off rotations, but
Right.
he's not going to be able to do that. He has to support his team in Hookah.
Right, and they know the danger. They know that there's players already on the B site too, and there you go. Tex just takes down Aaron as he just bursts through the Nebula. And Thwifo is still going. Thwifo holding down the line with a vice grip. I love how he's being chased, and he's still just holding W, trying to fight up the mid side. Very valiant, to say the least. Still 2 players remaining now for NRG, Tex and Som. Coupled up with a crossfire right into the defensive side, and wow, BCJ, we did combined for the last 2, and now I'm starting to believe the improbable is starting to become possible.
That was just their bonus as well. XSET did not force anything. They kept the 5 Spectres they got from forcing up in the second round. So that is just huge bonuses to XSET, and NRG are definitely going to feel it here. You let now an 8-round lead slip away, possibly now to just 4, given the fact that you're here on an eco. Thwifo goes up massive. Hex had all of that space, all of that opportunity, but Thwifo, one man, one play again, is what salvages that round in XSET. 5 more to go to tie things up. They are on track to make this comeback happen. But again, one slip up, one mistake, and you let all that momentum slip back into the fingers of NRG.
Potentially so. XSET just need to maintain things real clean. But Tex, wow, okay. You actually hate to see that. He just rolls right in the middle of a 2-man crossfire. And whoa. I'm glad we noticed that at the same time. Did NRG just get 3 kills in the matter of like 2 seconds?
Yeah, it feels like that. And now that they've got guns, or apologies, now that one of them's got a gun, they've got a swarm, 2 shock darts to maybe play this post plant, but no, they're getting aggressive here. Lock down to the back. That might force EU's hit. Daps! What?
And lock down! Lock it down, Daps! Lock it down! Thwifo now remaining in a 1v2. They're not even using it yet. They don't even want to use it. They're just playing short. They're baiting Thwifo. They're baiting Thwifo. Thwifo, check the angle. EU's still in the back. Alarm bot is there. There it goes, there it goes. Recon in, recon in! EU shuts it down! It's a thrifty round! NRG! How did they do it? We need a replay. We need multiple replays.
That's just not, even with the replays, I don't even think we could run that round back entirely. It's just a cluster towards short, triple headshot from Sheriffs, and I don't even know, man. And it's the cleanup as well onto every single A player, and it's in a timely enough manner, so Thwifo and BCJ just can't rotate quick enough. XSET, I think like I've just jinxed this game again. They were on a comeback, and then I said they lose one round, everything slips away, and they literally lose that one round. But now they're gonna try and take it back. 3 players pushed, and they net themselves 2 kills with a lockdown committed on A. They know as heck that's a fake.
Taking that back. Need that back.
Couple of grab wells. Most of XSET sitting up over towards that B site. The only reason why they even trust it is because of the amount of util there.
Out of charges.
At least I would like to think. Also, of course, that lockdown going in, not catching all too much. If anything, it was just a little bit of empty pressure, but still NRG forcing out the site. We're gonna see that boom bot nailing in near it around tin can. They know that at least one person's there, but I love these disciplined positions from XSET at the moment, not revealing too much about themselves whatsoever.
Wow.
And we did. Yeah, there you go. This has the ang, takes down both Som and Android right as they start getting comfortable to try getting that swing. Daps still has that spike. Could make a little bit more noise and potentially go through teleporter. And he has attracted all 3 here, so Daps, what does he even want to do here? He still wants to fight? He runs into like 3 players and he realizes it. He's out and away with just about 25 seconds left. We saw Daps go pretty nuts just in that last round alone. And he has to go even crazier, walking right into the cross. Nobody's out. Daps just wants to fight this out dry. There's one coming out over towards short. 50 seconds left. The spray from Daps has to be perfect, but Thwifo hopping in with the right clicks. And XSET, they saved themselves from just going down to a very bad pit.
They would have been in that position where they need to make the comeback, and with NRG not being able to pick up that round, it's XSET who gained back the momentum. Very nicely done. I like how cooped up on the sites has just been too much for them, and they decide, okay, let's go for an explosive take, and that's the first time they went for long. And normally we see this traditional setup from XSET where they just throw 2 stars down, they play that long control. They changed it up early, and they're doing the same thing here. Pierre's gonna go for a showstopper. Can he get the read right? Unfortunately on the wrong side, but he's still gonna try and route his way over there. Showstopper forcing them into showers, but now they've got to readjust. Tex is leaping out here with a Blade Storm.
Yeah, this is great early control from NRG. They spot out the pressure over towards short, and they just explode. And now Tex, go for it, baby! 3 players right in front of him as he emerges from the nebula, but he's only able to get 1 from it. And Som still stacking up damage onto Aaron. And now NRG finally have full control of this A site. Now they're gone. They're actually gone. Running into B.
Though.
But yeah, no, they pop out of Swarm, so that's more damage onto Som, but the spike is there.
Yeah, he can get the spike down. He's only got 1 star left. He knows he needs to create a fight here. It's a must win, and he's been presented the opportunity. But this Hunter's Fury, nothing is really connecting right now. BCJ in a 1v2. If there's one man you wanted to clutch for exit, it has to be him.
No shot, right?
Spike
Just,
planted.
again, NRG is doing it.
Another eco.
Another eco. BCJ, however, can shut down that sentiment. And it's yet another eco post plant where the last 2 players, they opt to play very, very safe. Back into elbow.
He's not looking.
No, not looking at all. BCJ finally committing some. Coming up big on the round to push NRG to 12. 4 kills for him. He extends out to 20 kills on the game. Sully, we've made it. NRG is now 1 step away from winner semifinals over XSET. Wow.
Turret out.
Take a moment to breathe here, XSET. You got 6 more opportunities. Apologies, 6 tries, NRG at least, to close it out. XSET, you need a 6 streak to at least bring us to OT. We're not even at the point of map 3 with those 6 rounds. Well, NRG, we're in this position on map 1. You said the history is that every time they played, every single map goes 11 to 13, and even some into OT. Does the streak break here?
It's been a long road. It's funny, we mentioned that every single game for XSET and NRG thus far in Valorant, every single map has gone down to at least a 13 to 11. All 24 maps in regulation being played. XSET, they're still trying to push that dynamic. They're still trying to push that overall story. Let's see if it happens, though. Oh, whoa. Android just banks in a nade right onto Aaron. And the shock dart's helping him out, too. Pressuring out Aaron, the Astra. And now the stars have been completely dissipated. That's a lot of pressure being taken away.
Yeah, Seekers as well. Look at this. It's pulling through the B area, so they're not committed to this rotation just yet. They need to keep at least someone here. Third coming in. Swarm is out. Pierre's got a gap, and Pierre needed to go huge. He's only good for 1. Sight given up, but BCJ's here at least.
BCJ making a lot of noise, and the showstopper doesn't even need to be expended to take down BCJ. Instead now, Android nails Thwifo. 1v4. We did. Can he do it all? Pulled at the Seekers a little bit earlier on, but nothing can help him now other than himself. Takes down 1. Still has 1 in heaven to try to cover up. Peek from Android, not exactly going in just yet, and Tex is the one to shut it down. Stamp it through. NRG have taken down XSET in 2-0 fashion. They are in winner semis.
NRG, dude. You said it earlier. I agreed with you. They were the team that was one of the few alongside V1 that were just the oddballs out. They were the team that made a crazy return after having such a difficult period with a roster change. And they brought it here. They brought the heat, man. NRG. I doubted them, man. I said their util usage is nowhere near as good. Their complexity when it comes to executions is nowhere near the level of XSET. But they brought it out. They had the fragging power. And that's the biggest thing, man. If they didn't hit every single shot, it felt like everything was clicking for NRG. Crazy plays across the board. And they got it over. They broke the record of 11 to 13 every single time they played. They are in the semifinals.
And it's crazy that these 2 teams go close every single time they play. Again, commiserations to XSET. They drop down to the losers bracket, and you guys will actually be able to watch XSET ASAP because, again, we are still broadcasting those losers games. It's going to be a fun time. But talking about NRG, man, I mean, in terms of bind, it just seemed like that was their map. I mean, we don't see too many teams even refining out bind. And in terms of XSET, this was actually their map. This was a better map for XSET than it was for NRG. But NRG, I mean, kind of systematically and kind of, you know, in a strategical sense, ended up outplaying XSET a whole lot throughout that game.
Yeah, it's that combination of strategy. It felt like on the defense in particular with mastering these rotations, knowing how to play with Psalm's utility, the crunches they were making as well through the TP, but also just literally, like I said, everyone was just hitting shots. I don't think there's any question to that, is that at some point in time when NRG, that was the win condition, is that if everyone is in that form of like dropping a 30 bomb, anyone could pop off. They were in that form, and XSET were just struggling to battle against it.
We have a couple of replays from that last game too, because man, I mean, it was fun to watch, to say the very least. Just that map one alone could be considered like one of the classic Valorant games, where you just had NRG going on an insane comeback, and still XSET, I mean, they had it. I mean, in multiple rounds, even during overtime, we kind of felt like, okay, XSET, they still got this, man. They still got this. NRG somehow pulling it out. And I just want to see that like 0.2 second, played. So Rifle takes on that first. We still have no clue where that kill onto Aaron came from. I think it was Heaven though. But but Find was a whole different story, Sully. Whereas it's just NRG the entire time.
Yeah, you can just see like these plays, this flank from Tex. I mean, it was just, again, mastering the movement around this map the entire time. This unfortunate position. Yeah, I kind of understand now, is because like the barrier is in front of you and you don't realize that it's behind you, so you think you're out of the range. I'm understanding that play a little bit more now, but yeah, NRG, they brought the heat, man. On this map in particular, the util combos were on point. The synergy, it felt like, was on point. Everyone was taking a double swing. No one was kind of fighting alone. There was always kind of a package deal going on throughout the map. And NRG, they just outread XSET, it felt like. Rotations were perfect. I keep reiterating that statement, but it's just such a huge factor.
No, absolutely. And throughout that game, I think we saw a whole lot of pressure from NRG in their early round too, where XSET was just not able to kind of push away from those shackles whatsoever. NRG winning out a lot of their earlier interactions, and you see it in the stat line, 10-5 in terms of frag wins, almost every single round in that game necessitating one of those entry duels. But still, in terms of damage, there's not much of a difference there, Sully, I would like to think.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of like this like one screen, I think, encapsulates just how good NRG were. Maybe the difference in damage was maybe a little bit more close in compared to what our last map was, right? The last map was like 3K damage difference, but still, everyone in NRG was clicking. And we go back to the topic of Sam and how everyone was playing so well around his utility. I mean, Sam was playing phenomenal alone, individually, working with his utility, assisting his teammates all at the same time. I think that's why he's the perfect MVP with a 312 combat score and a 2.0 KDA.
Yeah, speaking of Sam, we actually have him lined up very soon for our Verizon post-match interview, so look out for that. NRG just kind of making it through, and if I'm not mistaken, I mean, we don't have to vamp any longer. Sam is here and he's ready for our Verizon post-match interview, and well, let's start things off. Sam, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Yeah.
Man. The last time we talked to you guys were playing up against Immortals. You guys looked really good. We kind of talked about how like the synergy changes, Tex making a couple of changes himself. Well, the same thing happened here. I think in the last time we saw you guys play Bind, it was Tex running, I think, Raze on Bind. And then here he was running the Jet operator as well. And you yourself made a couple of changes. You started to pick up the Astra. So what has gone in between like that, this 1 week break you've had between the closed qualifiers from last week and the finals here this week?
So first things first with Astra. I feel like now in this meta you need an Astra. So right after our seeding matches, we instantly went back to our Astra comp. But in terms of Tex going on Jet, we kind of give our duelists like a lot of freedom on what they want to play and what they feel the most comfortable on. But at the same time, we were honestly expecting XSET to pull out a Viper comp on Bind. Yeah. So we kind of wanted a Jet that would dash past the wall and go into their smoke and regen their health and make a lot of space for us. But obviously they didn't play Viper. But I think it was still fine either way, as he was still comfortable on Jet.
Gotcha. And I mean, that almost makes sense that you guys would anticipate a kind of that sort of pick from XSET. But it looks like you two guys, I mean, you guys were kind of counterpicking each other at some points. In the past, you guys have already played them twice. You guys went 13-11 at least in all of your maps. How much of a relief is it to just get past XSET?
It's definitely a big relief. Like the last couple times we played them, we won like zero pistols and we would lose the map like 13-11, or we would lose to like a Bucky round, and it was definitely heartbreaking. So definitely getting this win under our belt is a good feeling.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to keep the interview too long. I know you guys don't like interviews too much, but I mean, your next matchup tomorrow, you're playing up against Cloud9 Blue. I feel like you two have a lot in common in the fact that you've made recent roster changes. Obviously, Tex has been in the lineup a lot longer than Floppy has, but you two teams have kind of made this crazy rise. Cloud9 Blue just took down NV2-0. You guys stomped your way through against XSET, another very favorable team. So what are you thinking going against Cloud9 Blue? What are the expectations? What's the preparation going to be like?
I guess well, first things first, Astra will be in play. So the C9 members watching this, expect that shit. And yeah, we'll have to see, I guess.
Yes, sir. Expect that, Ish. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I just wanted to say, Sam, you at least throughout that game, you were at least in a different mode, at least over towards Bind. Is it just the agent select like actually kind of helping you a little bit at this point now in terms of just fragging? Because like you've changed a mode, it seems. You're cracked, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm abusing the game, as some would say. I'm abusing the game.
Yeah, counterplay,
running and gunning, all that. Yep, implemented.
Yep. Yeah, that's all I wanted to hear. Sam, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we were saying in the pregame that like Astra is starting to become kind of this character with like almost like minimal counterplay, and it looks like Sam again. He's kind of just flexing that, just like, yeah, no counterplay. I'm just this absolute beast. Good for him, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be the end of at least our 2 broadcast days. But of course, the losers bracket is coming up in just a little bit. My name is Upmind, joined here by Sully, and we'll be back in just a little bit.